You do this one thing different, 95% of the people are no longer competition. Most Shopify stores completely fail. Well, one of my new ones went from $0 to almost $100,000 in sales in less than 3 weeks. I'm going to show you that exact framework step by step in this video for free. All I ask is that you drop a like and subscribe. This is normally the type of stuff that I would charge for, but I just want to make sure that right now you guys can take advantage of this, because graphs like this weren't something I could really do well until 2 or 3 years ago. The ad platforms have changed so much, and right now with TikTok ads, you can take advantage of a huge opportunity. So I'm going to walk you through that. I really hope you enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, I'll be honest with you, when starting this, my only real goal is to find a product that worked really well that people would impulse purchase, which is just perfect for TikTok ads. Now, if you take a look at this, there's only a 1% returning customer rate, which means next to nobody is actually really caring about this brand. They're just buying that front end product, which is totally fine with me, right? 100 grand, obviously that's revenue. However, I want to now build a back end. I need to get more products on the store. I have to do other work outside of just that front end focus. So just before we jump into this, again, this took me over 6 hours to put together. I really hope you enjoy it. I'm doing a giveaway in this video. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment below. One person who does that, maybe two, is going to be winning a free 15-minute phone call, a little consultation with myself. I rarely ever do anything one-on-one, but I just want to help people get started, because what I'm about to share with you is working right now. You need to and should implement it, especially if you have not yet found success on Shopify, but it's a window of opportunity that will close. Everything closes. Facebook ads, very difficult now to start from scratch. TikTok, not so much, but it will be eventually. A video just like this is the type of thing that normally I would just be adding into my course, because I go through a lot of examples, product examples. I show you an ad example inside of here. Normally I do that because I show a lot of live examples in there, and you can find that linked below. However, I just wanted to put this out so that you could get some help started from scratch. Let's dive in. All right, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Step number one is going to be finding your product. Obviously, you can't sell something if you don't have that thing to sell. It is the basis of every company. You need a product or service. 3 things you must look at. These are kind of the core elements that I'm looking at when I'm looking to find a new product. Now, just a quick disclaimer, it's rare nowadays that I go start something brand new. Usually I'm like, I just have my original stuff that's running, or I'm buying equity or taking equity in an existing e-commerce business. It's just faster for me and it works well. Number one, looking at the product utility. Number one, like for an example, building off that number one on the utility side of things, a water bottle is super cool, but the utility is very implied. It's like a pretty basic thing. Those who need one likely have one. What's your angle? What's like the cool, kind of approach? For an example, here's 2 water bottles. I've sold both of these. This one is a like a fruit infused water. So there's kind of like a centerpiece there where you can chop up lemon, lime, kiwi, whatever it is you want, and then there's water around the outside. So it just kind of gets infused. That's one version of a water bottle. Look, it's kind of like a unique angle. Over here, this is actually one that I did. I've done a lot in the dog space, not as of recent, but many years ago. And this one product did over $2 million. So you could drink out of the bottle yourself while you're hiking. That was kind of the angle that we took. And you press this little button right here, and then water can kind of flow into this little cup for the dog to drink out of. So did over $2 million with that. Those are water bottles that have a totally different approach. It's not just a basic water bottle. It's for dogs, or it's for people who are interested in health or fruit and stuff like that, right? Different angle. Okay, building on the finding a product side of things, looking at the TAM. This is called the total addressable market. Not a lot of people talk about this inside the e-commerce industry. First of all, I don't think a lot of people in the industry even like consider that as a thought. But number one, your industry is usually super, super big. So I don't think it's like a big problem. But what is the total addressable market? What are the sizes of the audiences that you can target on Facebook, on Google, on TikTok? That's something you should look at. Number 3, can someone immediately understand the product? I have found confusing products do not perform well. I had a really cool product many years ago. I loved it. It was just like the coolest thing ever, but it's impossible to get somebody to actually understand it in the first like 30 seconds of an ad. It just won't work. So for that reason, the product struggled to perform, and just keep it simple. It always works the best. Okay, continuing off of this, number 2 around the product, how unique is your product? Obviously, you don't have to have the coolest product in the world. It definitely won't hurt, but is it something that people have seen 1,000 times before? Organic engagement is something that we want to position ourselves for. For an example, fidget spinners. When those first came out, nobody had ever seen it. A lot of the people who were putting money behind those ads, I was one of them, or my friends were one of them. I was helping them. I was a very small part of that store, but that store went to $70,000 a month, like instantly, with basically no ad spend and no skill behind the ads, might I add. It's just that when something is so unique and it's so new, nobody's seen it, you get a lot of that organic engagement. Okay, the product that I have sold the most of, individual sales volume, was not unique. It was not cool. It was not unseen. It solved the problem at a reasonable price point. It was in the health and wellness industry. I'm not going to say what it was. That product did 8 figures, over $10 million in sales in like a 2-year window. That product, it did super well, and it was not super unique, right? So this part is not a need, but it makes it so much easier when you're starting from scratch if you have a unique product. Okay, and just a quick disclaimer here, it has 100% become more difficult and more expensive to start from scratch, so you want every advantage. If you can find a really cool product, It's just going to make your life so much easier. Okay. Continuing on that, the third part behind the first part of finding the product, there's a lot that goes on here. This is like 60 slides. So number 3 here, the fulfillment process. This is a really important piece. And unfortunately, most people who are getting into the e-commerce industry with a low starting budget never pay attention to this. So pay attention here. If you're getting into the e-commerce industry, you don't have $200,000 you're starting with, pay attention to this because you do this one thing different, 95% of the people are no longer competition, right? Okay, cost to fulfill, time to fulfill or process that order, speed of delivery of which they actually receive the product in their hand, and the likelihood of it breaking. I only say this because it's applicable to some products. Some things are more fragile, and if even 3 to 5% of your customers, a small amount by all accounts, receive a broken product, you cannot continue. Like if your product is too fragile and the shipping methods don't work and it keeps breaking, even if it breaks for 3% of people, just 3, your business is over. You cannot scale. There'll be too much negativity, too many refund requests, too many chargebacks. You'll become a total risk for merchants. It'll be a whole nightmare. And I just don't see you being able to scale. You're going to spin your wheels in the front end marketing for a long time. You might make some money, but it's going to be really difficult. Okay. So in my course, I give away our fulfillment contacts. The reason for that is it's actually something that I don't really want to give out because the last time I did it with a payment processor, it ruined that entire company. It brought them too much business and then it started causing problems. So I'm very cautious about that, but the reason I do it with the fulfillment side of things with someone who's very large and they can handle the volume is because this is the most important piece. And that's why I give it away for free inside the course. Obviously the course is paid, but the reason I do that is because it's such an important piece and you are instantly putting yourself miles ahead of the competition. So very important piece there. Okay, so that is number 3 around finding the product. After a product, what's next? What's the next step? And by the way, if you have any questions throughout this video, we're going to go through a couple main points here. We just did one of them. Leave it in the comments. Don't be afraid to leave 10, 12 comments. Trust me, people do it. It's crazy. I'll try to answer them all. Running ads. You got the product. Now how do we run the ads? Okay. The 3 main variables. Number 1, obviously you got to make the video. What is the actual ad that is being presented? That's a pain in the ass, by the way. We're going to talk about it. Number 2, launching and managing those ads. How do you launch them? What's the strategy? What's the budget? What's the approach? What are the audiences, the sizing, the overlap, the optimization, the building the pixel? You get it, right? There's 1,000 things here. This is like the most dense part, okay? And then managing the ads. This is dragged out over a long time horizon. How do you manage? What data are you looking at? How do you react to that data, okay? And we'll talk about that here in a second. Number 3, scaling the ads. This is the fun part. This is what I like to do. Everybody tells me and thinks that I'm like the scale guy. I like to do things quick, and I do. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm more known for. I guess you want to call it aggressive marketing. I don't see a reason to do it slowly. So let's scale it quick. And then now let's walk through each of these, right? So before you start running ads, one quick thing I want to point out, a huge advantage you can get, and the sponsor of today's video is the Ramp card. Go check it out. I'll leave it linked below. If you're going to start running ads and spending money, this is a huge thing I've done. I did it on Amex for a long time with American Express, but you get a ton of rewards. You have a business that is cash heavy, right? You're spending a lot in expenses. So start getting rewards and cash back on all of your business spend. With Ramp, they have multiple different opportunities to get a lot of money back, cash back, and a ton of different advantages. They're a huge company. They do really well. They have a ton of customers and a lot of people in the e-commerce industry. So go check it out. It's a nice perk for having a business with high expenses. Again, that link is below, but ramp.com, they do really well. And if you want cash back, it's really easy to get a card and then just put all your ad spend on there. So as you start doing what I'm about to show you and just talk about generally from the ads, start putting that spend on the card because you're going to get the benefit from that. So thanks to ramp.com for sponsoring this video. Let's continue making the videos. Number 1, when you want to actually make the video that you are presenting as the ad on Facebook, TikTok, a Spark ad, whatever, 3 videos is a good amount. I'm usually starting with 3 to 5 on TikTok. If I'm running ads on Facebook, you can have just 1 video. Carousels for pictures still work pretty well, which surprises me, but I do a little bit less in terms of the amount of videos if I'm going for Facebook. All videos need to be somewhat different in terms of their variance. So minimal overlaps. The goal for this is you want to try and show the product in different light. And I don't mean the actual physical lighting, but I mean in different ways. You need to pitch it and promote it and show it in a completely different variation. So the different people attached to it, right? If you're trying to sell a hat, have one ad where a guy is wearing the hat, the other where a girl is wearing the hat. The other put the hat on top of a car, put the hat on the wall, like on a little hook. You get the idea. It's just completely different. That's the goal. Okay, so minimal overlap there, make some different variations. This is the easiest to do, especially on TikTok, if you have the product in your hand. You can also send it to third-party photographers or creative agencies. Those are people who make videos for a living. They're going to charge you money. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to pay $70 for a video or $200. You're probably going to spend a lot more than that. A real creative agency is going to charge you probably like $1,000 minimum. Like, it's going to be a lot, which probably doesn't make sense when you're first starting from scratch with a low budget. But as soon as your product's working, you want a lot of good videos. And now if you can actually order the product yourself, have it sitting in your hand, and you can film shots of it, especially if you're running TikTok ads, you do it on TikTok, it makes it really easy and very fast. And then the final point here, just keeping it real, I wanted to point this out because someone's going to comment it regardless. Stealing videos from other people. Let's talk about that because there is liability associated. Most likely, nobody's going to sue you. But you will get reported, your ads will get taken down, your store can get a DMCA if you steal any of their content. A lot of things could happen. It's just not smart. Now, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm not saying do it. Personally, I don't think it's worth the effort, especially if you're running TikTok ads. Order the freaking product yourself, even on Amazon, find the same variation so it gets there quick, and film it. Especially if you're running TikTok ads. You can film in the TikTok app and edit it there, but if you're going to steal videos and mixing them up, it's not something you can scale with because too many eyeballs are going to be on them. And here's the psychology behind it. Let's say you steal 5 ads from other people. You chop them up, change the video, now it's like your own video with a bunch of stolen clips, right? If it starts working, in what universe are you ever going to turn those off? It'll create a problem because down the road you're scaling further and further, and 5,000 a day, 10,000 a day, 20,000 a day, and it's not your video. And you know that, now it's a problem, but you're stuck in that loop because you're making money, you don't want to stop making money, so it's like, right? So I get it, just don't steal people's shit. Let's start there, all right? Moving on, native versus invasive videos. This is a marketing term a lot of people haven't heard. Native ads, it integrates, it's native, it's meant to be there. People can't tell it's an ad. Invasive, in your face, it's out of place. So, native versus invasive, like for an example, testimony and review videos. Oh my gosh, this water bottle's great. That is a testimony or review video. It's probably not gonna do very well on TikTok. For retargeting, maybe. Okay, it's more of a Facebook style. So, an example of a native video. I wanna give you a visual here. You can go take a look, pull out your phone, go right now to TikTok and just search up dancing cactus. I guarantee you these are making tens and thousands of dollars in sales with no ad spend behind some of these videos. 22 million views, 600,000. It is showing the product in use, and that is the angle you want to take. Now you might be saying, well, Hayden, I'm selling custom t-shirts. How am I going to show the product in use versus having somebody talk about it? Do something crazy in a video with someone wearing it, and then use your caption as the link in bio, right? Or t-shirts linked in bio, whatever it is, right? So have it be a little bit more native, and again, a video of the product in use, not a hard sell. You're not trying to pitch it. You don't want it super aggressive. Launching and managing your ads. Here's something to consider. I'm going to give you a long list, and then I'm going to tell you kind of like my angle and approach here, okay? So let's start here. Budgets, audiences, placement, column and structure, and reading data. Again, very important to know what data, what decision am I making? Do I kill something? Do I leave it running? What am I doing, right? Making decisions based on that data. Scaling while inside of the learning phase. Scaling while outside of the learning phase. Cycling new creatives. Audience overlap. What the hell is that, right? It's a big thing. Retargeting and much, much more. I will not get into this now because I swear I will ramble on for the next 2 hours and I will miss my time at the gym because I won't even remember what time it is. I have to go to the gym. Go through the course. That is like the main bulk. I've only had a couple courses over the last 5 years. We always keep them a very reasonable price point. They're not $5,000, not $10,000. They're a couple $100, $500, $600. And the main focus in there is advertising. Why? Because even if you can't find a good product, you don't know how to build a store, you don't want to set up your own company, you take that advertising skill and you go into any other e-commerce company, you work for free, and what you do is you just put your skill to use, and you can get paid a performance fee, a retainer plus performance. There's 100 ways you can do it. I've had people go through my course, which is an e-commerce based course. They learned the ad skill, they went and started an advertising agency, and now they do 6 figures a month in revenue for their company, performance-based retainers, and they have people working for them now that run ads. So you can take it in any direction you want, but I won't get into all these specifics now because this will take 10 hours to sit here and go through, and that's exactly what the course is. You can find that link below. Scaling your ads. This is fun. Let's talk about this slightly because I like this one. Again, all ad strategy specifics and hours worth of explanations. It's a visual thing. You got to see the live examples in the course. That's why I say go through the course before you're going to launch your ads. You don't need to do it right now, but if you're ready to start an e-commerce store, go through it because you're going to waste that $500, $750 that we charge. You're going to waste that on ads in 3 days if you don't know what you're doing. However, 3 things that go into scaling your ads. Number 1, again, like we talked about, the TAM, total addressable market. How big is your audience size truly, and what is the avatar that you are targeting? Who is your ideal customer? Okay. Number 2, the specific strategies, how to scale and stay optimized with the low cost per purchase. A lot of times people scale aggressively once they're outside of the learning phase and your pixel can become unoptimized. You have to know how you're going to scale from an advertising strategy, okay? And again, that's more so the details that we cover. And the number 3, this is a big thing anybody can do, new ad creatives. Constantly cycling. Facebook, not so much. TikTok, oh my freaking gosh. On one of the stores we have, I think it's literally 60 new videos every single month. And those get posted onto the TikTok by the social media manager. And then what I do is I turn on the ads for the Spark posts. So I enable the ad post ID, 365 days, copy that, throw it in my email. I just email it to myself, so I have it on my laptop because I don't have the iCloud email sync whatever, so I can text from my iPhone to my Mac, which never works for me. And so that's how I do it. And then I take the code, I throw that in, I run Spark ads on TikTok to most of those videos if I like it. So, I probably test 30 to 45 new videos a month just for that one brand. And so that's aggressive, that's scaling. That's like when you're going, right? So that's like the scaling side of it. Long term, you can get to 7 figures by marketing. Here's a very broad thing here. You can get to 7 figures, multi-7 figures by marketing your product, which means I am running ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, Facebook ads, doesn't matter. I've done it with all of them, okay? Actually, except YouTube ads. I've never hit 7 with that. You get to 8 figures by building a brand and a back end for your customer, okay? Actually, forget the brand part. I'm just going to be honest with you. You need a back end for your customer from a financial perspective. Let's keep this financial, no bullshit. You need a higher lifetime value. You need your customer to spend more. If you're selling a $40 hat, your customer cannot stop there because your cost for acquisition will limit your growth, and you will spend the next 6 months or year, however long the company exists, spinning your wheels on the front end just trying to get new customers, when in reality, you're missing out on like 50% of the profit and 50% of the revenue by having the right email set up and the right back end, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So again, that's super crucial to make sure that you have that set up. So some main focuses long term, just to let it start circling in your head. Think about these things. Again, consistent new content on social media doubles as new ad creatives, helps for a lot. It's more branding, okay? Email marketing, massive for branding and LTV. You'll do at least 15% through this, just through email. Don't ignore this sales channel. It's super important. It's customers you already have. You do a lot of abandoned cart, but mostly post-purchase emails from people that have already bought from you. So it's huge. For an example, one of my brands right now, we have like 85,000 people on the email list and like 40,000 people on the text message list. So SMS marketing can be huge too. Split test those, see which one performs better, but always do both. High quality support system, just like the fulfillment. Most people in the e-commerce industry, they have terrible support. Maybe they check the emails once every 3 days or every Friday whenever they remember. Sometimes people go hire a virtual assistant who like half speaks English, but you need somebody in there multiple times a day who speaks good English and can handle it. Now, when you're getting 5 orders a day, not a big problem. You can do it yourself. But 100, 200 orders a day, you absolutely have to have somebody in there. It's too much work for you to do and not what you should focus on. Okay, the last one, decrease the speed to receive the product. This will increase the perceived value of your offer and whatever you're doing. For an example, if you order something from my store, the fastest shipping that I offer on any of my brands, it's the one where we have inventory sitting in a warehouse. At a best case scenario, you're going to get the product in 4 or 5 days. Average 6 to 7 in the US. So let's call it 5 days. You spend money with me today, wait a day, wait a day, wait a day, wait a day. Hello, package on your doorstep. It's 5 days. How can you shorten that? Because that increases the perceived customer experience. So that's what we've done. It used to be 12, it used to be 10, it used to be 8. Let's get inventory. It changes, right? For an example, digital products, you don't have such of an issue. When somebody buys my course, they immediately get a login. It's day one, it is instantaneous, no delay. When somebody is selling Lightroom presets for doing Photoshop work and editing photos for photography, no delay, digital product, right? Amazon, what have they focused on? Wasn't the best at marketing. They didn't, rip a bunch of social media content and just go viral there. They built the best process with the very quick speed of delivery because that is the higher perceived value, right? And people pay for that. So just focusing on that, it's not a question you need to ask at all in the beginning, but down the road when you're trying to build a back end is how can I increase the perceived value and a better customer experience, because that'll help build the LTV. That'll get more people to come back, right? Like my brand that has next to no returning customers, well, the shipping is 12 days right now, right? It's not that crazy. It's not that good. We also don't have other products or any really good emails and stuff to start running, but still nonetheless, it's something to think about, right? There isn't that LTV back end yet. And so that is something you have to put in place once things are working. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. It's free to do, helps me out a lot. And if you want a full breakdown, again, you can enroll inside of our course with the link below. You'll see 2 options on the checkout page. If you're new to e-commerce, you don't have like a winning product and a store and all this other stuff set up, you'll want the bundle of both our programs. We only have 2 programs. It's only $750, okay? It's half off instead of $1,500. You can check that out. Again, you'll see those 2 options on the checkout page when you hit the link below. Also check out the ramp card for any spend. If you're actually running ads, if you're gonna spend money, why not actually get paid for it? I mean, I spend a couple $1 million a year on ads. If you get 1-2% cash back, like 1.5 with ramp, that's a lot of money. It's a big difference. If you're getting points, like I have not paid for a flight in so long because of my Amex points. I have millions of them. And there's a lot of benefit you can get, with having a business that is expense heavy. So definitely check that out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one.